Hello, everyone. On behalf of CCS Fundraising, thank you for tuning into today's instructional video. I'm honored to bring you today's Fundraising Fundamentals course, Solicitation 101, How to Ask for Support. Before we begin, we'd like to offer a few notes about today's recording. You may want a pen and paper to take notes, so feel free to pause the video now to ensure you have what you need. You can also download a copy of this presentation on the Fundraising Fundamentals website. If any questions arise, or if you have questions to ensure accessibility, feel free to email us at info@ccsfundraising.com, and I'd be happy to answer those questions. My name is Alex Fruin, and I serve as a Senior Director with our Central U.S. team. And I will be presenting today with my colleague, Lauren Ekmekjian, a Vice President with the West Coast team.
Thank you, Alex. Before we begin today, I would like to spend a minute sharing a little bit about who we are and why this library of resources exists. CCS is a fundraising consulting firm that partners with nonprofits for transformational change. As a firm, we're proud to partner with over 500 nonprofits annually to offer expertise in fundraising efforts like fundraising campaigns, leadership giving, development assessments, and data analytics. Fundraising Fundamentals is an effort launched in 2020 by a volunteer group of CCS directors. While it's open to all nonprofits, our hope for this library is that it will provide meaningful fundraising resources and step-by-step guidance to emerging nonprofits that partner with communities of color, are led by communities of color, or both. This is part of our firm's commitment to anti-racism and social justice. To learn more, visit the Fundraising Fundamentals page at www.ccsfundraising.com.
Thanks, Lauren. So today we'll be chatting about Solicitation 101, How to Ask for Support. And it is important to note that this conversation really is a supplemental portion of the broader Solicitation 101 guidebook that we have developed for emerging nonprofit organizations. So we encourage you to check out that guidebook as it offers many more details than what we can cover in this quick video. Today, we'll be chatting about the process of making a request for support. Why is it important? What steps can we take for it to be successful? So let's dive in. We'd like to start with the basics, the principles of fundraising. What are some of the things we know to be true about fundraising? Here are a few highlights. People give to people, not organizations. And so the manner in which you ask for support and the trust that you build with your people, with your donors, is extremely important in matriculating to a gift. People give because they are asked. This may sound simple, but the process of asking for a specific gift amount for a specific project is why we are here today. And people give to a worthy cause. A focus on your mission, what helps your organization stand out, and your own impact story will inspire your donors to give generously.
That's great, Alex. In addition to fundraising principles, it's important to note that while we are talking about solicitation best practices broadly in today's session, your personal solicitation strategy should change depending on what revenue stream is most needed or pertinent for your organization. This could include things like annual gifts, major gifts, grant applications, and fundraising around events or particular moments in your organization's history.
Lauren, that's such an important point. Depending on the type of donor as well you are approaching and the type of request you intend to make, you want to think about how you can personalize your engagement in a way that's meaningful to the donor. The approach for a new donor who is just getting to know your organization is going to be very different than for a donor who's known your organization for a long time, who's been a friend of the organization for a long time, who can make a large major gift to your organization. Those two solicitation processes are going to look different. So let's chat a few minutes about where and how to start your solicitation strategy. Number one, review your solicitation process. What are the steps that you're going to take to secure a gift? Is this part of a broader solicitation strategy for the organization? Make sure it lines up with your solicitation process that's right for the organization and for the donor with which you're talking to. Number two, review donor information. What's their history of giving to your organization? What's their history of giving to similar organizations in the community? What's their capacity? What are those connection points that draw them to the organization? Then identify your top 10 prospects. Who are the people that are closest to the organization, that are engaged, invested, and ready to say yes? Or who are the people that are bold asks that could make a really transformational commitment for the organization? Identify those 10 prospects first so you can start from a place of strength when you're seeking support. And number four, make an individual plan for each prospect. No two prospects are the same. Every approach to a donor should be individualized and meaningful to that donor.
Preparing for a solicitation requires a few key steps. Let's review what you need in hand to prepare for your request and to be successful. Number one, assemble your team. Who is the right person to ask for this gift, and who can help influence the gift-making decision? We generally like to recommend a solicitation team of no more than 2 to 3 presenters, especially if you are making one single request for individual support. Number two, strategy. Do you have a strong sense of the right request amount, what aspect of your case for support would appeal to your prospect, and what the impact this gift will have on your mission or your organization? Materials. Having the right materials in hand will help you to articulate and visualize your project for your prospect. These can include things like a request letter, a case for support, and perhaps a list of opportunities for recognition so that the prospect can consider ways to be recognized once the gift is closed. Number four, practice. Have you and your co-presenters practiced your script for the request? We like to run through the request language at least once before your request meeting, and we recommend having a sense of what the possible responses might be so that you're both prepared and not surprised when the request meeting comes.
That's so important. That practice component is essential. Now that you have everything in place, what are the exact components of a request meeting? Let's review. There are 4 main steps to a meeting where you are requesting someone for financial support. These steps will likely flow together and should last no more than an hour, unless there are lots of questions that need to be answered. Step 1, opening remarks. Keep these remarks light and easy. This is the opportunity to break the ice, and it's all about making the prospect feel comfortable and reiterating the purpose of the visit. Step 2, make your case. This is where you explain your case for support in specific terms. What are we doing and why are we doing it? What will be the impact when we are successful? Number 3, asking for the gift. This is often the most nerve-wracking step for us to complete. We like to keep the language simple in this step, and we recommend committing it to memory in a practice run or practice runs before the meeting. It's critically important to verbalize the request. So you might use language as, would you consider a gift of X? And be sure to pause after you invite the donor to consider a specific amount. Allowing the prospect some time to consider your response helps them have a more meaningful interaction. And step 4, handle the response. This final step allows you to answer any questions that the prospect might have and helps you identify a time where it would be appropriate for you to follow up to secure their gift decision. If nothing else, make sure you thank your prospect for meeting with you today.
Thanks, Alex. To summarize, let's review your checklist for a successful request or solicitation meeting. First, a strong case for support that tells your organization's story and makes it personal brings your request to life. Second, the request amount needs to be articulated in a clear, honest, and deliberate manner. Third, a strategy for how to close the request meeting and a date for follow-up so that there's a clear path for the gift to be closed with your prospect is critically important.
Thanks, Lauren. And thanks to all of you for tuning in to today's video. For more details on this and other topics, please go to the Fundraising Fundamental page and review the CCS Insights tab on the website for additional resources. If you have any feedback, please feel free to reach us at info@ccsfundraising.com or on the Fundraising Fundamentals landing page. Thanks for joining us for today's topic. Be sure to join us for another subject through our Fundraising Fundamentals library. Thanks, everybody.